A poor woodcutter lived with his wife and 3 daughters in a little hut on the edge of a lonely wood. One morning, as he was about to go to his work, he said to his wife, "Let my dinner be brought into the wood to me by my eldest daughter, or I shall never get my work done." And in order that she may not miss her way, he added, "I will take a bag of millet with me and strew the seeds on the path." When, therefore, the sun was just about the center of the wood, the girl set out on her way with a bowl of soup. But the field sparrows and wood sparrows, larks and finches, blackbirds and siskins had picked up the millet long before, and the girl could not find the track. Then, trusting to chance, she went on and on, until the sun sank and night began to fall. The trees rustled in the darkness, the owls hooted, and she began to be afraid. Then in the distance she perceived a light which glimmered across the trees. "There ought to be some people living there who can take me in for the night," thought she, and went up to the light. It was not long before she came to the house, the windows of which were all lighted up. She knocked, and a rough voice from inside cried, "Come in." The girl stepped into the dark entrance and knocked at the door of the room. "Just come in," cried the voice. And when she opened the door, an old gray-haired man was sitting at the table, supporting his face with his hands, and his white beard fell over the table, almost as far as the ground. But the stove lay 3 animals, a hen, a cock, and a bridled cow. The girl told her story to the old man and begged him for shelter for the night. The man said, "Pretty little hen, pretty little cock, a pretty little bridled cow, what shall ye all know?" "Ducks," answered the animals, and that must have meant, "We are willing." For the old man said, "Here, you shall have shelter and food. Go to the fire and cook us our supper." The girl found in the kitchen abundance of everything and cooked a good supper, but had no thought of the animals. She carried the full dishes to the table, seated herself by the gray-haired man, ate, and satisfied her hunger. When she had had enough, she said, "But now I am tired. Where is the bed in which I can lie and get some sleep?" The animals replied, "Thou hast eaten with him, thou hast drank with him, thou hast no thought for us. So find out for thyself where thou canst pass the night." Then said the old man, "Just go upstairs, and you will find a room with 2 beds. Shake them up, and put white linen on them, and then I too will come and lie down to sleep." The girl went up, and when she had shaken the beds and put the clean sheets on, she lay down in one of them without waiting any longer for the old man. After some time, however, the gray-haired man came up, took his candle, looked at the girl, and shook his head. And when he saw that she had fallen into a sound sleep, he opened a trap door and let her down into the cellar. Late at night the woodcutter came home and reproached his wife for leaving him to hunger all day. "It is my fault," she replied. "The girl went out with your dinner and must have lost herself, but she is sure to come back tomorrow." The woodcutter, however, arose before dawn to go into the wood and requested that the second daughter should take him his dinner that day. "I will leave a bag with lentils," said he. "The seeds are larger than millet. The girl shall see them better and can't lose her way." At dinner time, therefore, the girl took out the food, but the lentils had disappeared. The birds of the woods had picked them up as they had done the day before and had left none. The girl wandered about in the wood until night, and she too reached the house of the old man and was told to go in, and begged for food and a bed. The man with the white beard again asked the animals, "Pretty little hen, pretty little cock, and pretty bridled cow, what shall ye all know?" The animals replied, "Ducks," and everything happened just as it happened the day before. The girl cooked a good meal, ate and drank with the man, and did not concern herself about the animals. And when she inquired about her bed, they answered, "Thou hast eaten with him, thou hast drank with him, thou hast had no thought for us, so find out for yourself where you can pass the night." When she was asleep, the old man came, looked at her, shook his head, and let her down into the cellar. On the 3rd morning, the woodcutter said to his wife, "Send our youngest child with my dinner today. She has always been good and obedient, and she will stay in the right path and not run after every wild bumblebee as her sisters did. The mother did not want to do it and said, "Am I to lose my dearest child as well?" "Have no fear," he replied. "The girl will not go astray. She is prudent and sensible. Besides, I will take some peas with me and strew them about. They are larger than lentils and will show her the way." But when the girl went with the basket on her arm, the wood pigeons had already gone all the peas in their crops, and she did not know which way to turn. She was full of sorrow and never ceased to think how hungry her father would be, and how her good mother would grieve if she did not return home. At length, when it grew dark, she saw a light and came to a house in the woods. She begged quite prettily to be allowed to spend the night there, and a man with a white beard once more asked the animals, "Pretty little hen, pretty little cock, and pretty brindled cow, what shall ye all know?" "Ducks," said they. The girl went to the stove where the animals were laying, petted the cock and the hen, stroked the smooth feathers with her hand, and caressed the brindled cow between her horns. And when, in obedience to the old man's orders, she had made ready some good soup, and the bowl was placed upon the table, she said, "As much as I want, the good animals too have nothing. Outside is food, is plenty. I will look after them first." So she went and brought some barley and strewed in for the cock and hen, and a whole arm of small smelling hay for the cow. "I hope you will like it, dear animals," she said, "and you shall have a refreshing draught in case you are thirsty." Then she fetched a bucket of water, and the cock and hen jumped on the edge of it and dipped their beaks in. Then upon their heads, as the birds do when they drink, and the brindled cow also took a hearty drink. When the animals were fed and the girl seated at the table by the old man and ate what he had left, it was not long before the cock and hen began to thrust their heads beneath their wings, and the eyes of the cow likewise began to blink. Then the girl said, "Ought we not to go to bed? Pretty little hen, pretty little cocks, pretty brindled cow, what say ye all now?" The animals answered, "Ducks. Thou hast eaten with us, thou hast drank with us, thou hast kind thought of us. We wish thee good night." The girl went upstairs, shook the feather beds, and laid clean sheets on them. And when she had done it, the old man came and lay on the beds, and his white beard reached down to his feet. The girl lay down on the other, said her prayers, and fell asleep. She slept quietly till morning, and then there was such a noise in the house that she woke. There was a sound of crackling and spitting in every corner. The door sprung open and beat against the walls. The beams groaned as if they were being torn out of their joints. It seemed as if the staircase were falling down. And at length there was a crash, as if the entire roof had fallen in. As, however, all grew quiet once more, and the girl was not hurt. She stayed quietly lying while she was, and fell asleep again. But when she woke in the morning with the brilliancy of the sunshine, what did her eyes behold? She was lying in a vast hall, and everything around her shone with royal splendor. On the walls golden flowers grew up, and on the ground green silk. The bed was of ivory, and the canopy of red velvet, and on the chair close by was a pair of shoes embroidered with pearls. The girl believed that she was in a dream, but 3 richly clad attendants came in and asked what orders would she like to give. "If you will go," she replied, "I will get up once, make ready some soup for the old man, and then I will feed the pretty little hen, the cock, and the beautiful brindled cow." She thought the old man was up already, and looked around at his bed. He, however, was not lying in it, but a stranger. And while she was looking at him, and became aware that he was young and handsome, He awoke, sat up in bed, and said, "I am a king's son, and was enchanted by a wicked witch, and made to live in the woods as a gray-haired man. No one allowed to be with me but by 3 attendants in the form of a cock, a hen, and a brindle cow. The spell was not to be broken until a girl came to us whose heart was so good that she showed herself full of love, not only toward mankind, but toward animals. And that you have done. And by you, at midnight, we were set free, and the old house in the woods was changed back into my royal palace." And when they had risen, the king's son ordered the 3 attendants to set out and fetch the father and mother of the girl to the marriage feast. "But where are my 2 sisters?" inquired the girl. "I have locked them in the cellar, and tomorrow they shall be led into the wood, and shall live as servants to a charcoal burner until they have grown kinder, and do not leave poor animals to suffer hunger." The Little House in the Woods.